So me and my friend have been hyping up this movie. Not hyping up, but we've been very intrigued by this movie we just saw this past weekend. And it's called Better Man. Have
Okay.
you heard of Robbie Williams?
Robbie Williams?
Yeah, not Robin Williams, Robbie Williams.
No.
Okay, so he's this pop singer that apparently is like hugely famous in the UK. He's like the Taylor Swift of the UK, apparently. And me and Tyler had never ever heard this guy, but apparently he's
Yeah.
massive. And so he made this movie about his life, like just a music
Mhm.
biopic. And everybody who's seen the trailer is like, who in the world is Robbie Williams? It's kind of like a Mandela effect thing.
Sure.
And then the other interesting thing about this movie is that it's all like kind of a regular music biopic, except he himself is a CGI monkey. Everyone else is normal humans. Everything happens like he's a normal human, but he himself is just a monkey. Because he's always felt a little different than everyone else. So ever since the first trailer dropped,
it's a metaphor.
Yeah, me and my friend have been like roasting this movie because it's about this famous guy who no one's ever heard of apparently, and he's a monkey for some random reason.
Is Robbie Williams a real guy?
He's a real guy, and you would know his music if you listen to it. Like if you play his song "Candy" and skip to the chorus, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I've heard this song before." The thing is, it's not music I listen to. It's just like I've heard it on a million times on like ads and just on media and just that sort of thing. He makes very much like Target music, Target commercial music.
Target music.
Yeah. But this whole time we've been like roasting this movie, like this movie's gonna bomb so hard, and we sent each other like a bunch of memes and stuff of the Robbie Williams monkey. Like when we have a constant like chess game going on, so every time that I beat him, I send him like a meme of like the Robbie Williams monkey like making a face or something. And so it's just been this ongoing joke for like the last few months, and then suddenly the reviews start coming out, and people are saying this is the best movie of the decade. And people are saying
Okay,
it's
I have to
incredible.
look
It's
up
got
this movie.
flawless
This
reviews.
trailer.
And so we go and see it, and it is surprisingly a pretty great movie. Even though it comes out in January.
Why that monkey looks so good though?
He does. Do you mean like lifelike, or do you mean like you're attracted to the monkey?
No, I mean like it's like it reminds me of Planet of the Apes, like that.
Yes, yeah,
level.
it's like super lifelike. It was apparently a very expensive movie to make, and it's bombing pretty hard in the States because no one knows who Robbie Williams is. But it's also very expensive to put a lifelike CGI monkey in every single scene of your movie.
Hello and welcome to Die on Any Hill, the show where we say stupid things and commit to them because we have nothing better to do with our time.
That's right. Yep, that's...
I thought you had
that
more.
sums it up. I thought I did, and I did. That sums it up.
Good try. All right.
Yep.
So, am I going first this time?
I'll go first this time.
Okay.
Actually, you go first this time.
Okay. So my take this week is I know I've talked about how much I don't watch sports, and a lot of that is because it's boring, right? There's a lot of sports out there, and I'm not talking about like football and like soccer and the popular ones, because we're not going to be addressing those. I've addressed my feelings on those, but there are other sports that I think, since sports is an entertainment industry, I think they just need to, a little something to zhuzh them up, to give them that je ne sais quoi. So I'm going to be listing a few sports, and we're going to be pitching what we think the new rule should be, something added to the game to, bring in viewers. Because some of these sports, nobody watches this. Like, let's start with NASCAR. Nobody watches NASCAR.
Okay.
It's just
all
cars
right.
going in circles.
I think they should have a round of Amish NASCAR, where it's the buggies.
Okay.
And then maybe there's one car in there or something. That would be kind of fun just to see.
A bunch of horse and buggies and one regular NASCAR.
Maybe it's like whoever won the previous one or something, they get like the leg up.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe who lost, I don't know.
I think it should be who lost. Let's make it a little more fair,
Yeah.
Whoever
So
loses
clearly they
gets
need
to
a little
drive the
help.
NASCAR.
They're not. So we'll give them a Formula One race car or something.
But I think if it's like a regular stock race car, even though they're not stock, but that's beside the point. If there's one of those, and then everybody else is running buggies through the whole season, I think maybe it shouldn't be the loser. I think maybe it should be like the champion, that season's big winner man, gets to drive the NASCAR.
Okay.
And then we change it so NASCAR doesn't mean whatever the hell it stands for. There is the NASCAR.
Okay. So then it's like same logo, but you just put the in front of it. And
Yes,
then
exactly.
Yeah. And it's really just a matter of who gets to win the NASCAR and
Right.
absolutely
And they get it
smoke
for a
all the
year.
Amish people. Yeah. Nice.
Which, of
I like
course,
that.
they kind of it's more of a symbolic thing. They aren't like racing, but so they aren't competing in the race, but is the NASCAR racing the same time as the horse and buggies? Like, is
I
it
was thinking
currently
yes.
roaring around the track
Yes, that was my thought. Is that
at hundreds of miles per hour?
yeah.
So not only do the horse and buggies have to race each other, but they have to dodge the NASCAR.
More so than the NASCAR has to dodge them. It's more of obstacles for the NASCAR to
Maybe we
get
should,
past.
just for safety, we should probably put, armor plating on the NASCAR.
Or what if... Okay, not... Yeah, that's true. We would not want to dent the NASCAR.
No.
Or what if it
oh,
was,
oh.
people in giant balls?
Okay.
That would be... instead of the horse and buggy... Because that could be
Yeah.
dangerous for the horses. Now that I'm thinking
That's
of it.
true. We
What
don't
if
want
it's
to hurt any horses.
Yeah, it's like people in the giant inflatable balls, like hamster balls, and then so that now there's already it's kind of fun because you get to see people running in the balls,
Right.
and then one person gets a NASCAR and they can just slam through people as they drive through, and the people will be fine. They're in padding.
They're in the
inflatable
balls.
They're not going to get hurt. But
No.
now that NASCAR can just without
Yeah.
even worrying about hitting.
I'm glad we're thinking about safety here.
Yes, that is always the number one priority.
I am a huge fan of this rule. I think, like you said, changing the vehicles is great.
Yeah,
I really big fan. So in that case, we may not need to armor plate it, but should we give it one of those cattle guard scoop thingies on the front of the NASCAR?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, let me.
A cattle guard scoop.
No, what's it called?
What is that for?
Not a cow catcher. It's like the thing on the front of trains.
Oh, the little pointed front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And so that's I see. Well, are we putting
Yeah,
that on the NASCAR, or you're saying put it on the
Yes.
balls?
Yeah, so it's make it less likely that the balls are going to take just a direct, forceful impact. Instead,
Okay.
they will be launched hundreds of meters into the air.
Just straight, straight up into the air.
Correct.
Can you imagine being on the outside of the arena and then just in a circle, you just see balls flying
Just
out.
see balls
Just going straight in the
flying
air.
out.
You call it, we would call it NASBall, but they're fighting for the NASCAR.
Right.
Yeah. There are many NAS balls, but only one NASCAR.
Sweet. Great.
All
We've
right.
made
I like
we've
that.
made just made NASCAR better.
I know for a fact we made it better.
This
The
is
only
fantastic.
question now is, will NASCAR do anything about it? Do they have the guts to
No, 'cause they're
actually do something
cowards.
new? Okay, well, whatever.
But we do have this idea patented, so NASCAR, feel free to call us.
Yep. We will give
so
you
I
a good
think-
deal on it.
I think another sport that is like literally nobody watches is bowling. Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean,
It's true.
I have never seen somebody watching bowling on TV because it's boring as hell.
This is very true. What if instead of pins, it's a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of people in balls, and then the car is, or the bowling ball is just a car.
Okay, so bowling it gets labeled under NASCAR then, right? It
It
becomes
gets
a
labeled under NASCAR, except
sport.
the people aren't able to run at all because the ball's fixed in
Right.
place, and it's just the car
Right.
slamming into them.
Okay, I'm here
Yeah.
for that. I'd watch that.
Yeah. Let's think of another version. Another version for Wednesdays.
Another version for Wednesdays?
Yeah, so it'll just be different on the different days.
Oh, okay.
So,
Are we doing another version of NASCAR or another version of bowling?
well, no, this is another version of bowling. That's kind of
Which
like
is
the
under
NASCAR
NASCAR now.
bowling. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will be like the special, like in between
Mhm.
commercial breaks. That will be in place
Gotcha.
of commercial breaks or something.
Yeah. Because NASCAR will just be making so much money off of the merchandise from our ideas, and they
Right.
won't even need to run ads.
So they'll just have another version of what they're already doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if we play with the shape of the bowling ball? Is that anything?
I don't know how it could be because unless
Mhm.
unless you completely change. What if the bowling ball is just a massive cube, and instead of
Mhm.
rolling it down a lane, you're just dropping it off a cliff, and the pins are just at the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah.
And you're just
You-
flattening them.
Not only does that, are we playing with the ball idea, but we're playing with the horizontal and verticality of the game, which makes it way more interesting. You can have horizontal bowling and vertical bowling.
That's true. Yeah, because like horizontal, once you figure out, you just gotta roll it straight. That's easy. Dropping
Right.
something
Anybody
straight.
can do that.
Not everyone can drop
Impossible.
something straight. Yeah, I think opponents. It could be like a big tower, like a clock, not a clock tower. What's like the wire tower, like an electrical wire tower or whatever. And then
Yeah,
people
sure.
are lined up on each level of the tower, and they're blowing as it falls to try to change the trajectory, or they have fans or something.
How big is this cube?
I mean, it's got to be big enough so it can hit every pin if it's dropped perfectly. So it's like the exact shape, except like the exact shape and width of the arrangement of pins at the bottom.
So this is not only becoming we're not only getting bowling in here, but this is starting to seem also like a vertical version of curling as well.
Yeah,
Because you drop it and then you have the people blowing trying to get it. Now when it's
Yes.
bowling, they can try. It's your opponent's trying to move it away, but when it's the curling, it's your teammates trying to blow it into to land on the.
So that would be people like it would be surrounded on all sides, people blowing.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I like that. It might be better
The
to have
average
like air.
bowling and curling team has increased to 30 people.
There you go. We just created 30 new jobs.
30 new jobs.
30 unemployed people out there now have jobs.
Crazy.
Yep. They're now professional blowers.
When we finally get our co-presidency, things are really going to change around here.
That's right. Yeah. We can guarantee at least 30 more jobs if you get elected.
30.
I think all sports
Maybe
should
31.
just have. I think you and I can both agree that Rumble is the best version of Rocket League, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I think all sports should just have like a Rumble version, like Rumble
Sure.
Night, and it's just
For
like a
those who don't
random
know,
power up.
it's the form of a soccer game where you get like Mario Kart style items to play around with the ball.
Yes. Yep.
So
Um,
people would have like boxing gloves on springs, um, a like wind cannon. You know, there could be all sorts of things.
it's just like a completely randomized. Why haven't they done a real life Rocket League yet? Surely there's got to be
They
something
have.
like it out there. There they have. Okay.
It's been done. Yes.
Okay. Nice. Why isn't it a thing that I knew about, and why isn't it televised somewhere?
Because it's not very exciting.
Have they not figured out how to fly yet?
No, they don't know how to aerial.
Dang it. Okay, well, I guess that limits it a little bit. But
Yeah. They haven't gotten their cars to jump yet.
they can't do like the double flip forward.
They cannot do a straight vertical jump in their cars.
All right. Well, one of these days.
One of them. But no, that's. I feel like I've seen that at like demo derbies.
Well, with the giant ball.
Yeah.
I've never been to a demolition derby before.
You've never been to a demo derby?
I feel like that was a big thing, and I don't know if Indiana was just because it had like the racing background, like made it have like a car background. But I feel like I heard about them quite a bit, demolition derbies.
Yeah.
In Indiana, but they're not really a thing that anyone ever talks about in North Carolina.
Really?
So, yeah.
But it's such a redneck thing.
That's what I would think, and maybe I'm just not in a redneck enough area. Maybe it is very popular.
That's
in other
fair.
parts, but like I feel like I would
'cause-
see like people saying like the demolition derby or the monster truck rallies coming to our town in or not. I'm really doxing us here in Indiana, but
Good catch.
but I just don't see any advertisements for that as a real event in North Carolina.
Sure.
So, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like here it was my understanding of it is like, yeah, it was cool when we had a demo derby, but it was like it's a demo derby. They're not as exciting as they seem.
They seem very exciting, but I guess they all kind of come out to the same thing at the end of the day. Is it like are people actually in the cars?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I knew
So I guess
I knew people. I was friends with people who drove in the demo derbies.
that's kind of crazy. Are they?
Mhm.
How are they doing now?
Fine, as far as I know. I haven't talked to them in a while.
How significant? Like how frequent are injuries? There's got to be pretty. There's got to be a regular thing for people. That are just driving headfirst into walls or each other.
Not really, because the goal is to disable your opponent's vehicle. So it's if you are just gunning it headlong into people, you're gonna break down yourself before you break somebody else down. So there is a lot of backing into each other.
I didn't know there was that much strategy into it. I thought it was mainly just let's see how much we can destroy cars.
No, there's like prize money and all that.
Interesting. Yes. Someone should make a documentary about this. I should make a documentary about this. And
make a documentary about this.
All right, I'll come back. I'll get back to you on that.
Sweet. I probably would watch a documentary about demo derbies.
There probably is already one out there. I'm sure.
Probably.
But, yeah. Did you have any
so
other?
What do we do for
sports?
demo derbies to make them more exciting? Because clearly you don't have them. That's a problem.
Well, I think they're pretty exciting on their own, but let's see. I mean, you would just have to. Can people modify their cars? Like, what is? There's got to be pretty. Strict like specifications on how the car.
Yeah, I'm not
functions.
sure about that. I'm assuming.
I mean, make it. You could. I put some like Mad Max features on there, like with the giant spikes and the
just have a dude riding in the
and
with a
guitar.
explosive spear. Oh yeah, with a guitar.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. I'd watch more of it.
Same.
We really are the reason we're going to become one of those dystopias with like a death games.
Yes.
Like you and I specifically are the problem.
Yes. When we get elected, we will be the reason. I'm not going to say problem because that's probably harmful to the campaign, but That's true.
We will be the reason
that
You know what we're going to be
We'll
a
get
problem for? Crime.
Crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just put
that's
all
right.
the prisoners and criminals in the death games.
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna be a problem for criminals. You heard us.
Yeah. We're going to be a problem for drugs.
We're putting lots of drugs in the games.
Lots of drugs are in the games. Everyone is hopped up on
We're taking drugs off the streets and putting them directly in our dystopian games. That's gonna be sick. All right. I really don't have any ideas for...
I find it very concerning how legitimate it was when you said, "Oh, that would be sick." Like, that felt like a very real comment.
I mean, everything I say is real, all right? I'm not fake on here.
We're gonna be great presidents.
I think that's a good enough, like, thing to just add to any game to spice it up, is just give all the players cocaine beforehand. That instantly would make any game a little more interesting.
You have to take cocaine.
Can you imagine, like, bowling or like professional poker, and everyone did like a big whiff of cocaine right beforehand?
A whiff of cocaine.
A whiff.
I love when you talk about drugs, McKay.
That's what they call it, taking a whiff of it.
Take a whiff of cocaine. Hey, bro, can I get a whiff?
Yeah. Professional poker, that's another one that we could spice up. I do think cocaine's a good way.
Yeah, drugs. So would we just do cocaine, or are we forcing other drugs into their system as well?
I mean, they do just constantly have like a IV of heroin going directly into
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You don't really retire from professional sports anymore.
You don't make it that far. It could be about the losers got to do some like acid or I don't know. I mean, it's got to be a lot harder to like
the wheels of your brain go. Think of a drug. Think of a drug. Think of a drug.
Well, I was trying to think what would actually make it like cocaine just kind of like what hypes you up, right? Acid actually would make it more difficult because it's a hallucinogen, and and the whole thing of poker is you're trying to read the other person's face,
right?
So that actually
that's
an
a
extra
really good
challenge.
idea.
Yeah. Cocaine probably, if anything, makes you better because you're like hyper aware and hyper vigilant of what's going around. Maybe.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I've never taken a whiff of cocaine, but I can only assume.
I've been doing woofs since I came out, man. I'm an OG woofer.
Dang. Well, you would know. You'll have to keep me updated if what I'm saying makes sense or not.
Oh, perfectly. 100%. That's exactly how cocaine works.
Great. Okay.
Right.
Well, any other suggestions for poker?
You know, I do think we've been going on long enough about sports. I think we've come up with some very good ideas. And when we become co-president, honestly, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be paradise.
Yeah. You heard it here first, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So put your votes in, or just write us in. All we need is like people to write us in. I guess we just barely missed this past election, but next time, next one, get started. Get your pens ready.
Get your pens ready.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're moving on.
We'll be reliant on your votes.
Moving on to my take. Is that how the direction this is going?
Yes.
All right. So my take is that why is anything still difficult to open nowadays? Because nowadays we have the capacity. Anyone can make anything super easily. Like there are machines that can just do it. Everyone has 3D printers. Like the common man has a 3D printer. So why can't these big tech companies actually make food items that are easy to open nowadays? What
Do
about
either of us own a 3D printer?
my roommate owns a 3D printer? So
Okay.
I
mean, to be fair, we're not the common men.
we are uncommon men, so we don't own them.
Yes. But we
the
know
regular
people who own them.
average Joe. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. No, that was good. That was a good point to make. We're not common. So, I think this all stemmed from, why don't all cans have tabs? Why do I need to pull out my old decrepit can opener and manually crank it to open a can of baked beans? Why doesn't it have a tab on it? A tab is the most basic form of... It's just the most basic thing you could do to add it to a can. It's not that innovative. It's not hard to do. Why isn't it not on every single can? That's really my whole argument.
I mean, yeah, that's...
If Heinz made sodas, you would just have to shotgun it every time because there'd be no tab. You just have to, and then that could be fun. I don't know, but
that could be
it's
fun.
not fun. It's
I'm
not
kinda
fun
down for
shotgunning
that.
baked beans. I can tell you that.
Have you tried?
Sometimes that's what it feels like you have to do with these cans.
I love the image of you shotgunning a can of baked beans.
Maybe I'll put that in our list of things to do when we.
You can do that. You specifically are more than welcome to do that.
I think that maybe will be a punish. It's not a fun thing to do, but maybe it'll be a punishment for like our challenge. Like, surely we have a challenge.
That's going to be so difficult to do. To like stab through the side of a can of baked beans.
Yeah. I guess. No, I don't care. We'll worry about it. That's a bridge we'll cross when we get to it. All right.
Yes.
The other thing, Slim Jims. Why are they so hard to open?
Slim Jims are freaking impossible to open.
The thing, in theory, like the splitting the plastic should work.
Yes.
Pretty well. But they just don't work at the time. There's
right.
I don't know how many like bags of candy that are supposed to have the little notch that you like pull across the top, and it's just not there. What happened? Why is the notch not there?
Major oversight.
How hard is it to just have like some unpaid worker sitting there with a pair of scissors and
how hard is it to have one of your child laborers with a pair of scissors just
maybe that's why it's hard, is because it's unpaid child laborers. But why don't you guys put a little bit of money into paying the person that is clipping the little notches into the bags? I think it's just a matter of them being cheap. All the big 5 container companies, they're cheap.
What are the big 5 container companies?
We all know the big 5. And we don't need to say them.
We don't. I think we do, just for our listeners who may not know what the big 5 container companies are. You knew I was going to do this as soon as you said it.
I was hoping you just move past it, but
absolutely not.
Let me Google it.
I love making you suffer, McKay.
So here we go. The Mediterranean Shipping Company, Maersk, CMA CGM, Costco Shipping Lines, and Hapag-Lloyd, obviously.
Hapag-Lloyd, of course. I knew all of those. I just wanted to make sure you knew all of them.
I also knew all of them. It just takes a second to recall sometimes.
Gotcha.
But also, like, resealable... Okay, I don't know if this... I think this does apply to most resealable things, but there's this resealable bag of frozen chicken that I get. And they claim to be resealable, and it claims to have, like, the little Ziploc, threads at the top, but that never works. That has never, ever worked for me. I can't open it up without just ripping, like, right beneath the Ziploc.
Yeah, right.
Like, the Ziploc function looks good on the back.
That is something that pisses me off so much. When it is, like you said, when it is a Ziploc and you tear off the top part to, like...
And it's not even connected to the zip. That's just a whole separate little thing on the wall of the bag. It's like, how was I supposed to access that?
Right.
It's just terrible manufacturing.
Bad infrastructure.
Maybe the common man should take over with their 3D printers and actually make some real food containers that work.
Yes, they're real food containers made out of melted plastic.
I mean, they're all made out of melted plastic in some way.
Not a can.
What has been like the best innovation in food containers? What about? I always go back to the Danimal Crush Cups. Do you remember those?
No.
The you remember you certainly remember the ad with Zach and Cody where they're crushing the people's heads on the set between their fingers, and then it cuts to, oh, it's the Danimal's Crush Cup.
I do not, but that is the first thing that popped up when I Googled this.
The ad's kind of famous now. I don't know why it's famous, but it's just like a dumb ad that people are like, oh, this makes me nostalgic. I don't think it's still a thing, but that's the kind of innovation that I'm looking for, is people just looking for ways to make it easier for us to actually eat food, not make it harder for us to access the food.
It's a yogurt cup. It's just a yogurt cup. That's all this is.
I think it's a little easier to crush is the thing.
It's how hard? It's not hard to crush a yogurt cup. Maybe we don't need more innovation in packaging. This ad has single-handedly made me flip on you here. No, you can put in the little extra work. It's not that hard.
No. Why? Okay, they should have spoons. I think they should. Like, do you remember when, as kids, like we would have to make we forget to bring the spoon, and we'd have to make a little spoon out of the lids.
Oh yeah,
eat yogurt. There should be just spoons included in yogurt. I think that should be a thing.
I 100% agree with that. Just a tiny little spoon taped to the side.
Yeah. Or like a little punch out. No, punch out's too hard. Forget I even said that. Yeah. Companies clearly don't know how to do punch out things, so
that's true.
I think they'll just have to use some adhesive to glue it to the side of the yogurt cup. I
think duct tape would be fine.
Yeah, just like slap it on as it goes by on the line. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That's just another unpaid child laborer. It's fine.
Yeah. It's not costing you anything. Just make it
happen. No, obviously.
What else? What other food? Okay,
with the can thing, how it's not that hard to use a can opener.
So you're flipping on me entirely. It is hard to use.
Yes, because the Danimal's Crush Cup made me. That's a yogurt cup. Okay. Why are we making things easier?
You're on. Because they're children. They're little kids. All right. It's fun. It's just fun to crush things. And can openers are difficult to use. I'm not buying like $100 plus electrical accessory just to open my baked beans.
They make mechanical can openers. You don't have to buy an electric one.
I know about the mechanical ones, and they you're talking about the hand crank ones. They suck. They're terrible. They don't work. I mean,
mine works very well.
Mine does not. And I've had multiple. I've had multiple.
Do you know how to use it?
None of them work. Yes, you crunch it in, and then you just turn it, and it slips out. It slips out after a couple cranks every time.
It sounds like you need a better can opener, or you need to just sit down and practice.
Well, here's the thing: I'm not spending over $5 on my already $5 can of baked beans just to get an extra little accessory to open it up. Just put a tab on the top of the can. I know you already have the machine that can make metal into whatever shape you want. Why wouldn't you just make it into the shape of a tab and slap it on the top of the can?
They're incredible machines that just shape metal.
Yes, I mean, they made the can. This isn't like the Dark Ages where they had to shape everything with molten metal and hammers. They can just do it now. So why?
It just works.
Because sodas do it, and the soda companies. Everyone wants a soda. Nobody cares if they have baked beans because they're too hard to open. If they put tabs on the baked bean cans, they would be at least as popular as soda.
But don't you open up enough cans to make it worth buying like a $10 can opener?
No, I don't open up enough cans because I don't buy them because they're a pain to buy.
But if you had a can opener, then they wouldn't be a pain.
I do have a crappy can opener. The only time
Get a better can opener.
I'm not. It's a matter of principle. I'm not spending more than $5 to $10 on a can opener. It's not an accessory
reasonable.
that I'm only using for. Well, yes, that's what I have is a $5 to $10 range can opener, and it doesn't work. I'm not buying an accessory though for one specific little item. Don't get me started on wine and corkscrews. Why isn't that just in a soda can like the rest of alcohol?
It can be, actually.
It can be, and it should be.
They do make canned wine.
Great. That's the only kind I want.
Because it's fun to uncork a wine bottle. That's why.
I bet you also have fun with your can. Well, it wasn't. Suddenly, it's not fun to use a Danimals Crush Cup, but it's fun to struggle to push a thing into a cork and to rip it out. That's so much harder to do than to crush it.
How are you just twist? It's not that hard.
You got to screw it in.
Yeah.
And now, but if you do it too far, you're starting to get pieces of cork in your wine. If you don't screw it in far enough, suddenly you're going to tear off the top of the cork. You don't want to push the cork down and then just goes into the wine entirely. Yeah. That's all I have to say. But it's too hard. Just put a tap.
It's
just
really
put it in a
not
can.
that difficult.
Put it in a can. Put a tap on it.
It's not that hard. I promise.
All food items are too hard to open.
Specifically food items.
Yeah. The thing is, like, there are other things like those like plastic wrap things that are that does actually bother me. Is where like when it's a thing of scissors and it's I don't know what the plastic is called, but you know the plastic that they have.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The only reason I'm buying these scissors is because I don't already have a pair of scissors. How am I supposed to open this? But outside of scissors, because it's so counterintuitive, I can kind of understand why that plastic needs to be there because it's an item with some value. But if I'm hungry and I'm just a regular guy who wants to eat food, why should I have any difficulty opening up my food?
Again, I think it's you, McKay. I don't think it's the products themselves.
It is. All right, listeners, call in. Go ahead and put your calls in now and tell us that you also feel this way. You're a part of the restaurant industry, so I feel like you are just maybe biased.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why you're like this, but that's clearly your bias
because
for some reason.
It's fun to open a bottle of wine, okay? It makes a nice little pop sound.
You could do that. Guess what also makes a pop sound? A tab on a can. That's also fun.
It's not the same sound. It's not as satisfying.
It's very satisfying to open up a can of soda pop.
It is. That is a nice sound as well.
Yeah.
But okay, what kind of corkscrew do you have? Do you have like a wine key, or do you have like one of the ones where it's like the two handles that you got to twist?
We have, to be honest, I don't know. I don't buy wine.
Okay.
We have like just a very. I'm pretty sure the one down there is just a very traditional corkscrew. The last time we tried to open a bottle of wine was the Super Bowl, and we couldn't do it. And so with like the corkscrew that we had,
sure.
And then we had to go next door to the neighbor and ask to borrow his corkscrew, and then we made him miss a point in the game.
Wow.
He was disappointed.
Wow. Rude.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. If people made wine in a regular bottle, it would be fine. But
you can buy it in cans.
Well, I will from now on.
You can also buy it in boxes.
I do buy it in boxes when I'm cooking with it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not I don't really drink that much wine though, just on its own.
That's fair.
The
Wine's
only
kinda
wine I
gross.
buy is to cook.
I get that.
Yeah. One of these days I'll be a wine guy.
Will you? Do you want to be a wine
I-
guy?
I hope to be a wine guy.
Okay, fair enough.
We all have dreams. We can all have hopes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not yucking your yum.
You're yumming my yuck is what it sounds like.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
What are there other containers that piss you off when you try to open them?
There definitely are. But I can't think of them.
That's fair.
Oh,
Well, we can end it
I
here.
remember the one that we
Yeah.
mentioned before. CDs. Even
Oh,
though
yeah.
that was a struggle maybe 15 years ago because we don't
Right.
really open CDs anymore. But at the time, that's probably the reason people switched to digital music, if we're being honest, is
Because of the packaging. Yeah.
because of the packaging of CDs. And I remember the other thing I was going to say. You have never opened an Apple product because you don't like to buy Apple products. But opening an Apple product is one of the most satisfying things you can do. It's more satisfying than opening a wine bottle, I'll tell you that. Because it has a very nice box, very sturdy box. You everything perfectly fits together. You lift up the box,
Sure.
and there it is in the plastic wrapping, and then peel it off.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very satisfying experience. It shows that they value the customer, and it shows that they value the aesthetic of their product. Why isn't every single food item perfectly wrapped like an Apple iPhone? It all should have like a perfect little wrapping that you can just easily slide out and then pull off the paper.
Because
it's
other
ready to go.
companies are more interested in making a quality product than aesthetic packaging. Just saying.
No,
You know.
I don't care about that. I just want to be. It's more important that you're wowed at the start of your product experience than
Gotcha.
at the end. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know if that makes sense, but it's more important for me.
I mean, yeah, you want to be pleasantly surprised from the get-go.
The thing is, everyone is always like tired of their iPhone by the end of the product's life, and they're ready to buy a new one, because they know that they can open it up and have that excited experience. So
but it's the exact same phone every time.
This
Well,
is not an argument about
slightly better
iPhones.
camera.
This is not about
Okay.
the qualities of iPhones. We've already talked about this.
Uh-huh.
We've already discussed why they're better, I think.
They're not.
Everyone is, you get to the end of the product, you're tired of it, you're ready to open a new one because the idea of purchasing a new one is fun. That's what it should be like for food.
Sure.
Opening the next box of it should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be, reaching the end of the product is what's exciting. And then, opening it is a pain because then you just don't ever want to open it in the first place. The psychology behind it.
That's fair.
Pringles.
Oh, I hate them. Hate them.
They-
Bad packaging.
That is some pretty crazy packaging, but they're fun.
They're not.
They're
though.
unique.
They're fun for the first 5 chips,
Yeah.
and then they're a pain in the ass.
You're not wrong. Pringles, though, are the only thing that I can sneak into movie theaters because of they're the only chip that I can sneak into movie theaters because of their shape. I can put them in the interior pocket of my jacket. So
Okay.
Pringles have kind of
Thank you.
become like a
I
standard.
was worried.
Well, I can bring in 2 cans with Pringles. And they're the only chip that can do that because otherwise you got this massive air pocket under your shirt. It doesn't work.
Sure.
But I don't know. Pringles.
Hmm.
Good job, Pringles. It's another fun, innovative food packaging that
No, bad job, Pringles, because I
They-
always get
they-
pissed off
they can
when
actually
more
fill
than I
a.
want to eat your goddamn chips.
It's another thing. It's more fun to open it at the beginning of your Pringles experience and get a little annoyed at the end than it is to
Yes.
pop open a bag of chips and realize that they're already 3/4 of the way gone and be disappointed. It's better to have a positive experience at the beginning and slightly worse at the end than a disappointing experience at the beginning and being satisfied.
No, I would 100% rather have a disappointing experience at the beginning and have a great experience by the end.
You just don't want to start... The thing is, like, for the marketing purposes,
no.
You want to go on... You want to get your customers onto the next unit of your product. So it's like, okay, well, the most exciting part is opening the product, so I'll just go on to the next... let me just... You know what? Forget this can of Pringles. There's still like 5 at the bottom. I'm just going to open the next one because the next one looks fun.
Because the next one looks fun.
But
there
if
could be a
opening
surprise
it...
in this one.
But when it's a big can of baked beans, I don't even want to freaking think about opening that can. I don't... Yeah.
Fair.
You don't even want to start the process of opening the next product because it's such a pain.
I don't want to start the process of opening the next can of Pringles because it's such a pain to eat the Pringles.
It's not that hard. You just have massive hands.
No! I have proportionate hands. I have delicate hands.
You just tip them out once you get to a certain point. But then you get
crumbs everywhere.
Not really.
Yeah, you do. There's always a shit ton of crumbs in the bottom of the Pringles can.
Are you telling me there's like, how is this any different than a regular bag of chips that you open and just shake out?
I don't shake it out. I reach in and grab them.
They're more likely to become crumbs though, because they don't have any structuring to their package. So it's crumbs either way. Yeah.
But those crumbs are easier to contain than the Pringles crumbs.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The thing is, you're getting less chips and more crumbs with other chip bags.
Yeah, but with Pringles, you just get sad.
This is untrue.
This is going nowhere. We should end it.
This is going nowhere. But yeah, I disagree with you.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, hey, subscribe. Hit what else is there? Leave a review. Do that one. Leaving a review is good. Tell your friends about it. Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try again. I was trying to pop. I was trying to make a wine pop noise, but I don't know how to do it really.